Hi Verbling, my name's Michaela. I'm from Phoenix, Arizona, and today we're talking about some strange stories. We'll be reading vocabulary, discussing it, and talking about myths and facts. If you guys have any questions on this class or suggestions for other classes, feel free to message me on Facebook or on my Verbling inbox, and check out my tutoring schedule. Mustafa, welcome to class.
Welcome to class, teacher.
How are you today?
I am fine, good.
Excellent. Did you have a nice relaxing weekend?
Not actually, no. I didn't have that.
Oh no, what did you do?
Yeah, yeah, because my mother did a surgery and I went with her to the hospital and something like this. So,
Stressful. Oh no.
yeah, something like this. But I am now good. We have to pass through some difficult time in our life.
True, true. You sound like you have a positive attitude.
Yes, that's right.
Awesome. Martin, welcome to class.
Hi, teacher. How are you?
Good, how are you?
I'm fine, thanks. What is it? It must be morning in your place, if I remember good.
It is. It is 11:05 a.m. for me. And for you,
so
it'll
good
be early
morning.
afternoon, right?
4 p.m. in Italy.
4 p.m. Okay.
Exactly.
Yeah, so
good morning.
mid-afternoon.
Thank you.
And good afternoon to you. How was your weekend, Martin?
I had a strange weekend. It's nothing particular. A relaxing one.
So you didn't have any particular fun or relaxation on your weekend?
Yeah, it has been really strange. It's nothing particular, exactly.
Well,
Nothing
then
to
let's
de-
get
nothing
this
to
week started well.
yeah, nothing to declare.
Okay, all right. Daniel, welcome to class.
Hello, teacher. Good afternoon.
Hello, good afternoon. How was your weekend, Daniel?
It was hard because
Hard? Everyone
yeah,
had a weird weekend this weekend.
yes,
What did you do?
I'm very tired today because I was seeing a lot of old friends in my village and maybe drinking a lot.
I see. So it was a
Maybe
good weekend, but now you're really tired and not really
yes.
ready for the work week.
If you have a couple of childs, maybe it's it's hard.
Yes, that is very true. Very true. Good luck getting through the day and the week.
Yes.
All right. Mikhail, welcome to class.
Hello, Michaela.
How are you?
I'm fine, no bad.
I'm doing well. Did you have a nice, relaxing weekend?
Normal weekend, entertaining with friends and practice some sport. Normal weekend.
Very nice. Okay. Saku, how was your weekend?
Hi, teacher. It's great.
So, did you do anything special, or was it just normal around the house?
Yes, normal activity in weekend.
Okay, and are you ready for the new week?
Maybe, but I hope so. Yeah.
Okay.
In
Well, we're
next
glad to have you
weekend.
in class. Yeah,
Nice to
next
see you.
weekend. We're waiting for the next weekend already. Okay, and Antonio, welcome to class.
Hello, thank you.
How was your weekend, Antonio?
Fine. I was in a cottage. Well, I had with my family, and yeah, we had a good time.
Beautiful. That sounds wonderful.
Thank you.
Okay, so I put the notes in the chat box for you guys. we're going to be reading some strange stories, talking a little bit about if we think they're true or not so true. Before we begin, does anyone have a story that they think is amazing or strange that they want to share? Something like a myth they believe? I want you guys to think about it. Think about some strange stories you've heard before, and you're welcome to share them as we go along and read some of these stories together. I will screen share the stories, and we'll get started. So, what's your favorite kind of story? Let's start there. Antonio, what's your favorite kind of story?
Well, I like in general every story. Less maybe a lot of fantastic or irreal situation. Very real situation I don't like.
You don't like very real situations, or you don't like unreal situations?
I don't like a totally irreal situation.
Ah, I see. Yeah, ones that really don't make much sense or aren't realistic. Okay. Daniel, what's your favorite kind of story?
Scary stories, maybe.
Ooh.
Yes. When
Blood
we
and
were,
guts?
when we were young, maybe in the campsite, an adult tell us a scary story around the bonfire. This kind
Ooh.
of stories.
Yeah, that's awesome. I love those. Good memories from bonfires and scary stories in the
Yes.
woods.
Then you had to go to the tent and try to sleep. Hearing
Alright,
the sound around you, sound from the trees, forest, from the forest.
Mhm.
Little animals
Every little,
making noise.
yeah, every little noise sounds like, a ghost or a monster or something.
Yes.
All right. Martin, what's your favorite kind of story?
I love the stories that can makes my mind to travel, to fly, to the fancy story, pretty much.
Fantasy?
The fantasy story, the unusual story, not boring, of course. It's nothing particular, anyway.
All right. Have you ever read a story in English, like a book or anything like that?
Not really. Never in my life. This is the first time.
It could be a goal, right?
Yeah,
To read a book in English. A difficult goal.
Let's see what happens.
Yeah. We'll start here and see how it goes.
Oh yeah, all right.
All right. Mikhail, what's your favorite kind of story?
Normally the real stories I like more, but it depends. For example, to read a book is fantasy story is nice also. But I don't know. Really stories possible I like more when you join with the friends and tell the stories in a journey. So depends.
All right, you like a broad range of stories. That's nice. Mustafa, what are your favorite stories?
For me, teacher, actually, I like, for a special reason, I like the funny story, so funny story to learn English. Because I think it was stuck in my mind if I read this type of story and make me enjoy the story itself. So something like if we say there were two monkey and the monkey wife refused to cook dinner at Saturday, something like that, and the husband become went to went to the kitchen and become like a fish out of water, something like this, something funny.
Funny, so maybe like stories with metaphors or comic stories, humorous stories.
Yeah, yeah, that's it. And the other type of story I liked is it's the story talking about successful person, the life of successful person.
Interesting combination. All right, Saku, what are your favorite kinds of stories?
If I love comic story and fiction story.
Fishing stories, that's an interesting category.
Yeah. It
All
makes
right.
me curious.
Yeah. Okay. So let's get started. Saku, will you go ahead and read this first paragraph for us here? It's our first story.
Okay. Excavations of a limestone cave on the Indonesia island of Flores uncovered a 3-foot tall skeleton with a skull on third on side of a normal human, a hobbit. Researchers discovered the bones of 9 such people, the youngest of which dates back about 12,000 years. They also found tools and other signs of civilization. They are skeptics who believe the hobbits are simple humans suffer from growth inhibiting conditions such as microcephaly. But the popular opinion among scientists is that the hobbits are a separate species like Neanderthal. Thus they are common ancestor with humans. Also, Indonesia has active volcanoes, which you could say through a ring inside Iblis B.
Okay. So let's talk a little bit about the vocabulary before we talk about the reality or non-reality of this story. What about the word excavation? What does it mean to excavate?
Excavation is such when we dig ground. Something when you yes.
So digging is a big part of excavation. What else do you do in excavation? You dig a big hole and you do something with what you find inside of this hole. Anybody?
Try to find things, old things, like skeletons, or maybe maybe things for cook or arrows or something for to catch animals, to hunter.
Yeah, right. So excavation would be digging and also looking for stuff or maybe retrieving stuff, pulling things out of the hole like a skeleton or other artifacts. So digging and searching for ancient items, probably. What about skeptics? A little farther down in the paragraph, there are skeptics who believe the hobbits are simply humans. What is a skeptic?
People who don't believe in things like a ghost or something they can't see.
Yeah, people who don't believe or require more proof to believe, maybe. All right, and what about ancestors? Martin, can you define the word ancestors for us in the last sentence?
Ancestor is like a previous generation of the people behind us.
Mm-hmm.
A previous generation probably is not the right sentence. Probably a really old one. A really old one. I don't know the ancestor. Ancestor is the name.
That's a good description. So an
Anyway.
ancestor would be someone who came before us.
Yeah, a kind of previous generation.
Uh-huh.
The base of our generative tree.
Yeah, that's another good way to say it. So maybe not the immediately previous generation, you know, maybe not my mom, but my great-grandmother or my great-great-grandmother. Very far in the past. All right. Any other vocabulary questions before we talk about the content? All right. If you guys think of some, you can put them in the chat box or let me know at any time. And we have this joke at the end. I want to make sure everyone understood it here. So we're talking about how scientists found these very small people that they call hobbits, right? Hobbits, kind of like what they're called in Lord of the Rings. Those tiny people are called hobbits. And at the very end, they make a joke saying, also, Indonesia has active volcanoes, which you could, say, throw a ring inside of if need be.
Murder volcanoes.
Yeah, exactly. They're making a joke that the ring, the Lord of the Rings, happened in Indonesia with these hobbits. So what do you guys think? I want to know, do you guys think that these are hobbits that once existed, or is there some other explanation? Saku, what do you think? Saku, are you there?
Sorry, teacher. Can you ask me again? Did catch your question? So answer the question.
So, we read about the remains of many hobbit people in Indonesia. Do you believe that hobbits once existed, or do you think there is another explanation for these small skeletons?
I think it's existing activity that Indonesia have the past and now.
So you believe it? You believe that these hobbits were the ancestors to humans or somehow related?
Yes, I think it's from ancestor activity.
All right. Mustafa, what do you think? Do you think there were hobbits that once existed?
Teacher, sorry, the Hobbit, he said, actually they didn't give us details about them, how they look like or something like this, so we can't judge this like a human or not.
Yeah, it's true. So what they did say was that they were very small skeletons, and that some of the explanations were that they were a species of person that was related to modern humans but not the same, or that maybe they suffered from a disease or something like that. So what do you think is most likely?
Maybe this is true. I believe in this, maybe.
All right, awesome. Thanks, Mustafa. Mikkel, how about you? Do you believe in the hobbits, or is there another explanation?
I'm not sure, but I suppose it's a history. It's not true, but I'm not sure. My opinion is history is not real. I'm not true. I'm not sure.
All right, so you think it's lies. Daniel, do you agree with him?
I think the hobbits are only in a book story, right? And maybe the skeleton could be belong to maybe another kind of monkeys. I don't know.
Good point. Could be a totally different species, maybe.
Yes.
All right. Antonio, what do you think about these hobbits?
Well, I think if there is an excavation and there is discover the bones, well, I think it's possible to these people, no, these people in a moment of this war could be appear and alive here. Yes,
Ooh,
why not?
dun dun dun. They could still be alive. Okay. Let's go to the next story. And let's have Mustafa read this one for us.
Okay. Federal agent inspecting a couple belonging at an Arizona entry port on the U.S.-Mexico border found two live parrots hiding inside an Elmo doll. The Customs and Border Protection says agriculture specialist found the bird on July 1st after cutting open the doll when an X-ray revealed something unusual about the content. The sized bird were placed in quarantine and transferred to a Department of Agriculture holding facility, while the couple was fined $300. The border agency says bird entering the country are regulated because they can carry viral and bacterial diseases.
Thank you very much. So, vocab first. How about a definition for the verb seized? Antonio, help us out. Seize. That would be when it says.
I'm looking for the meaning. This. Yeah. Well, I think it's the finding. No?
Okay. Finding is involved.
Finding
Can
bird.
anyone help us add to that definition? Find and?
Resources? Maybe.
Kind of, sort of related. There's something a little more. Does anyone know? They seized these things, so they seized the objects, they found them, and what else did they do? They found them and they took them away. So, a couple was trying to enter the US with something that they were not allowed to have, these birds. So, the federal agents found the birds and took the birds away. They took control of these things. They seized them. What about quarantine?
Yes, quarantine is when you took something and you separate it of the rest of people. Because, yes.
Yeah, you separate something. Why would you do that?
We usually do that when someone have an unhealthy, and you want the rest of people don't steal, no. Enfermar, don't steal, no. Enfermar.
Steal?
Still no. Don't. Sorry. Don't ill. Don't sick.
They don't
Don't
get
be
sick.
sick. No, don't be sick. Or don't be
Yeah,
ill.
frequently we do use quarantine for sicknesses. So if someone has a very contagious disease, you isolate that person or animal to make sure that other people don't get this disease. It could be used frequently when we're talking about the current events of Ebola happening in Africa. They use quarantine when someone has Ebola. All right. Any other vocabulary questions from this one? Great. Then let's talk about it. These birds were being hidden in stuffed animals. Saku, do you believe that? Do you believe you could hide birds and get them across the border in stuffed animals?
Yes, I think I can, but some situation when we do that, maybe we can infect some disease that the birds bring the bird carry from another area to other areas.
Mm-hmm. Okay. So you think it's possible. Antonio, what's your opinion here?
Well, I think it's more possible this is history that the before. Although I don't have secure if the parrots can be carry viral and bacterial disease because we have in Spain neighbors with parrots. I don't know. I don't know if these birds have viral and bacterial disease.
All right. Daniel, if you were going to bring birds across the border, how would you do it? So if you're going to try to hide these birds and get them across the border, what would be your strategy?
I don't know, because if you don't care the parrots dead inside the Elmo doll, but I don't know, maybe it's a delicate animal to carry, and I don't think what's the best way to do that. I don't know.
I'm surprised that they tried to use these stuffed animals. It sounds like that would be very difficult for the bird to survive.
If you don't care the parrot's dead,
Yeah, I guess. I mean, they probably want the parrots to survive, but it doesn't seem like a great way to bring them across. Mikkel, how about you? Do you have any ideas about how we could get a parrot across the border secretly? Mikkel, are you there?
Sorry, can you hear?
Yep, I can hear you now. Tell us,
Okay.
What do you think?
One question. Inside an Elmo doll, what is that?
Huh?
The hidden inside an Elmo doll. Well, I don't understand.
And, well, Elmo is a character, and it was a stuffed animal, so let's see. I'll find a picture for you here. An Elmo doll looks like this. It's a stuffed, fluffy animal. So they cut a hole, they put a bird inside of this thing, and then they probably sewed it back up or something.
Okay.
So how would you do it? Do you have a better way to get a bird across the border?
Yes, I suppose. but I think it's totally false. This history. Totally
Yeah,
false.
it's not a good idea to try this, but I was just curious to see your suggestions. All right. Any other comments or questions on this one before we move on? Then let's get to the next one. This one is for Mikel. Go ahead and read the next paragraph for us.
Okay. In Singapore, selling non-medical chewing gum or chewing normal gum is a fine of 1,000. A second offense costs $2,000 and being forced to clean a public area of the city for a day. If a person litters 3 times, they must clean the street wearing a bib that rows. I am a littered even pharmacists who sell the medical gum and forget to ED get 2 years in jail. Spitting is also illegal and can result in arrest.
Thank you very much. So these are some strange laws. And let's talk about the word spitting. What is spitting?
Spitting
Can anyone?
yes, it's when you I don't know how do you say in Spain saliva. I don't know.
Saliva.
Saliva. Yeah.
Right. So it's a, what is it? What is spit?
When you throw something from your mouth.
Yeah, exactly. A liquid in your mouth goes to the floor or to something else, I guess.
Yes.
Does anyone else have some strange laws that they've heard of that they want to share? Batu, welcome to class.
Welcome.
Good to have you with us, Batu. We just read a little bit about some strange laws in Singapore. Can you share with us any strange laws that you've heard of before?
Oh.
No ideas? Oh, he's gone. Okay. Anyone else want to share some strange laws?
Well, I think could be. I don't understand. Maybe the test. Maybe it's illegal spitting and throw the chewing, no, the gum. But it's illegal chewing the gum.
Yes, it's illegal to chew the gum, it's illegal to spit the gum, and it's even illegal to sell the gum without asking for ID.
Yeah.
So they're very strict about their gum chewing policies. This is definitely, well, I consider it to be unusual. For me, it's a very normal thing.
Yeah.
Is anyone here a gum chewer?
Maybe here is bad thing, spitting, but chewing gum. Bad thing is good say. Bad thing is well said. It's well said to say good thing.
It's a good thing.
It's a good thing. Okay.
What? Wait, what's a good thing?
Yeah. When you want to say that something is good done, well done, you can say, or can you say to say it is well seen? No.
Well, thing?
Yeah.
No.
In Spain we say
It's right or for another
It's
people.
right. Okay. En Spain decimos está bien visto. Then the literal traduction maybe in English is forced. Okay, it's right. It's better.
Got it. Got it.
Thank you.
All right. Any other comments or questions on this story?
It's
Sorry, teacher, what?
something exaggerate for me, but the other face in the coin, it's in Spain because on the ground there are a lot of chewing and other things.
Yeah, so you think that these rules are a little strict, but Spain might be able to increase their rules about chewing gum practices?
Yes, you can get a fine in Spain
Oh.
for throw the chewing thrown away.
All right. So let's go on to the next story, and this one is for Daniel to read for us.
Sorry, teacher. Just I have a question about.
Yeah, go
this.
ahead.
Yeah, about the word letters. What does this mean exactly?
Good question. Can anyone give him a definition for the word litter?
Litter.
Litter. So we have it here in the word litterer. Litterer is a person who throws litter or leaves litter. So what is litter?
Bad person.
Yeah, so a litterer isn't a good person. And the word litter means that you dirty something with trash. Like you have a wrapper, a piece of gum, or something that you don't want anymore, and instead of throwing it in a trash can, you throw it on the street or in a park, somewhere that it shouldn't be. So that's what litter is, and a litterer is a person who does that action. Excellent question. All right. Then Daniel, go ahead and read this for us.
You've no doubt heard of the Amazons, exclusively female tribes or fierce warriors. The Greek historian Herodotus wrote of the fate of the Amazons, saying that they were captured, relocated, overcame their captors, became shipwrecked, and then ended up on the Eurasian steppe where they fought the Scythians. Thinking the Amazons would make strong wives, the Scythian men decided to fight the next battle of the field of love. The dwindling Amazons eventually agreed to intermarry with the Scythians as long as their daughters were encouraged to continue the proud tradition of the woman warrior. Ancient rapes.
Nope, sorry, go ahead.
Ancient rapes unearthed in the Eurasian steppe reveal that a good portion of the Scythian women had battle-damaged bones, and that they were buried with swords, bows, daggers, and other staples of the warrior.
All right. So vocabulary first. Can we give a definition for the word fierce? What is a fierce warrior?
Brave.
Brave, definitely. What else?
Savage.
Savage. Ooh, that's a good one. Brave and savage warriors. Yeah. Maybe even violent or something. All right. And how about overcome? They overcame their captors. So what can we say about this word? How can we define overcame?
Overcame when you passed something.
Mm-hmm. So you pass something in what way?
In maybe difficult way.
Yeah.
Defeat or something like this.
Yes. Defeat or pass a challenge. What else? All right. So that's a pretty
Beat
good
off,
definition.
maybe beat off.
Sorry, teacher. I had to go. I have a problem.
Okay. Well, good luck, and we will
So-
see you again another time.
Sorry. Bye.
Quite all right. See ya. Okay. Any other vocabulary questions before we discuss this story about the Amazon warriors?
Teacher, they became shipwrecked. What's this mean?
Good question. Shipwrecked. Does anyone else have an idea what the word shipwrecked means?
No.
All right, well, we can break it down a little bit into two words, ship and wreck. So what is a ship?
Ship is like a big boat or something.
Uh-huh, very large boat.
Yes.
And what about wreck? Does anyone know what a wreck is?
Destroyed.
Uh-huh. Exactly. So someone who has been shipwrecked, it means their boat was destroyed. They probably crashed or were sunk. Maybe they washed up on a beach and the ship is no longer usable.
Okay.
Any other questions?
Teacher is TP, and then end up on the Eurasian steppe.
The steppe, the Eurasian steppe, is a place between Europe and Asia. And it's a historical site. All right, so let's talk about these women warriors, these Amazons. Starting with Antonio, do you believe that these women warriors existed and that they traveled around the world and eventually settled in the Eurasian steppe?
Well, I like a lot the history of Greek, but I don't know. I think it's difficult to believe certain histories, but well, everything is possible. But well, I think this history maybe is enough real, but I don't know.
So it's possible but unlikely, you think?
Yeah.
Okay, fair enough. How about Mikhail? Do you think that these women warriors were real at one time and they followed this path and got shipwrecked?
Sorry, because I'm Michaela in a calling. I don't read well this.
Okay, well, go ahead and read it again as we discuss it. Mustafa, do you believe in the women warriors of the Amazon?
For me, actually, I don't have an idea about this, but I don't have idea. Sorry, I don't know.
All right, Saku, what do you think about these women warriors? Do you believe they were real?
I'm not sure, but I think it's possible. In the past, I think in the as a lot of area um, it's has a lot of battle and war, and I think the woman can be a warrior and beat enemy, and maybe she became stronger and maybe it's like in the story. I think it's possible.
All right. Thanks very much for your opinion. And let's go on to the next story. The next story is for Antonio to read for us. Can you read that one?
Okay. A young girl named Laura Buxton was at her grandparents' 50th wedding anniversary, where she released a bunch of balloons into the air. She attached a note to the balloons that asked the person who found it to write back to her. Less than 2 weeks later, she received a reply. A balloon had been found by another Laura Buxton 150 miles or miles away.
Miles.
Miles, okay, thank you. Miles away. They had other similarities too. The girls were both 10 years old. Also, each had a guinea pig, a rabbit, and a 3-year-old black lab dog.
What do you think, Antonio? Is this true? Is this possible?
Well, in this history, and then it's the same person, but al 100, well, a lot of years later, it's the same person, no?
Not exactly. So
Not
what the
exactly.
story is saying is that
A lot of similarities. Okay.
yeah, there's two people who live 150 miles away from each other, and they're very similar. Their name is the same, their age is the same, and they even have the same animals, so they're very similar. Do you think it's possible?
Yeah, I think it's possible. Yes.
All right. How about Mikhail? Do you think this one is possible, that there's two people so similar? Same name, same life, basically?
The possible is possible, but it's a lot of coincidence. But I think it's improbably to happen. This is possible, but logically, that I think is improbably to happen.
Interesting. All right, so possible but not probable. I like that. Mustafa, do you think it's true?
I don't think so.
And why not?
Maybe it's difficult to have maybe the same name, the same, but the same life. Maybe it's somewhat difficult. Yeah, something strange. It's not logically.
Okay. Saku, do you think this one is possible? Do you think it could be true?
I think it's a fiction story.
No chance for this one then.
It's if it's true, I think there is twin because they have the same name, the same year, a year old, and they have a similar bed and something. It's similar. I think it's not. It's difficult for me to believe it's true.
Yeah, that's a tough one. All right, our next one is for Saku to read. Can you read that one for us?
Okay. When in 2007, Karen decided to divorce Joe, her husband of 26 years, she did not count on just how crafty her son-to-be could be. Joe's defense in the case was so simple. It was beautiful. He claimed that they cannot get divorced because the marriage was already dissolved over 3 years ago when Joe died. Apparently, Joe claimed that after his heart stopped in 2004, this temporary death was enough to annul their marriage on a legal binding clause. Theodas to Aspar. If that was enough, he cited two additional examples of his death, one more time in 2004 and once again in 2005.
Thank you very much. So this one's tough, full of advanced vocabulary. Let's talk about a couple of these vocabulary words. The word claim. He claimed. What is a good definition for the verb claim?
Say something.
To make a statement.
Ask for something.
Ask?
Ask for something.
Yeah, okay. You could use it in that way as well. So we have two slightly different definitions here. The first is to make a statement in kind of a dramatic way. So he claimed that they cannot get divorced, meaning his statement or his opinion is that there's no way for them to get divorced. And then the other way we can use this word is to declare something is your own. Claim land, claim an object, and say that it's yours.
Yes.
Okay. How about dissolved? The marriage was dissolved. What does the word dissolved mean?
Dissolve.
Don't have solution to solve something, solve problem.
Not exactly not having a solution. You might be close, but not quite. Can anyone else add something to that definition?
Dissolve.
Dissolve, yeah. So what if I say, I put my cookie in the milk and it dissolved?
That means it's like a part of combined together. Okay, they were combined together.
Right. So my cookie isn't really a cookie anymore. It has fallen apart, and now it's just a big mess in my milk. It's not really a cookie anymore. And he's saying here that their marriage dissolved. Their marriage fell apart and was no longer a real marriage. All right.
In this situation, dissolve mean cancel.
Yeah. In this case, it means something very similar to cancel.
Okay.
And annul. What about annul?
Annul, cancel.
Yep, this one is also very similar to cancel. And it's usually used as a legal term for marriage. There are two options. If you're married, you can get an annulment or a divorce. An annulment basically just means that you cancel the marriage and you pretend like it never existed. But a divorce would be a little more serious, and you have to divide up property, divide up money, possibly decide what to do with children. All right. Any other vocabulary questions from this story?
Sorry, teacher. The second line, the third word, crafty.
Ooh, crafty. All right. Can anyone help us with this one? He's got a crafty defense.
No.
It's kind of like clever. Clever or inventive. Usually crafty would be a word to describe like a fox. Very clever and inventive, smart, and possibly using the smartness to do something negative. So here he's using his clever, smart abilities to avoid divorce. He's getting out of a negative situation using his clever abilities. Any other questions?
Sorry, teacher. The second paragraph, the second part of the paragraph. Apparently, Joe claimed that after his heart stopped. Can you explain more about this first two line? What's you mean by this temporary death?
So Joe probably had some health problems at that point. If you have, say, a heart attack or maybe a stroke, it's possible for your heart to stop working for a short period of time. And if that happened, you would have to be revived or brought back to life, and you have to start your heart again, right? To continue living, hopefully. You have to restart your heart. And so here, he's saying that when his heart stopped because of his illness or sickness, that his temporary death canceled out their marriage, right? Because when people die, obviously you're not married anymore. If the person is still alive, like if your wife is still alive, she's not married to a dead person, she's just not married anymore.
Okay, thank you, teacher.
No problem. All right, so let's get, well, actually, we don't have much time to talk about this one because we're out of time for today. Does anyone have an opinion they'd like to share? Does anyone think that this is a really cool defense or that it was really a mean thing that this guy did? It certainly was crafty. All right. Any last comments or questions before we finish up? Nothing? Okay. Well, thank you guys for coming to class, and I hope to see you all again soon. Bye.
Okay, bye-bye.